All right, today we're diving into something that is, no joke, one of the most powerful tools we have for shaping how we age. We're going to talk about the surprising science behind resistance training and how you can use it to build your absolute strongest future. So, let me just start with a question, and it's a big one. What if that whole story we've been told about aging is, well, just not the full picture? What if getting older didn't have to automatically mean getting weaker? Just kind of let that question sit with you for a bit.
But okay, before we get to the good stuff, the solution, we've got to face the problem head on. Let's talk about what's happening to our muscles as we age, this sort of silent decline that happens to all of us, if we let it.
There's actually a clinical term for this. It's called sarcopenia. And all that really means is the natural age-related loss of our muscle. But here's the kicker. It can start creeping in as early as our 30s, and then it really hits the gas after we turn 60.
But, and this is a really important but, losing the actual muscle tissue, the physical size of it, that's only half the story. There's something else going on under the hood that's way, way more important.
Okay, so look at this. This chart shows what I'm talking about, this huge disconnect. The science is clear. We lose our strength 2 to 5 times faster than we lose the actual muscle. See, it's not just about how big your muscles are. It's about your brain's ability to fire them up. And that connection, that gets weaker over time.
So that's the bad news, right? We're losing strength like crazy. What are we going to do about it? Well, the answer is tapping into the incredible power of resistance. And I promise you, its benefits go so far beyond just muscle.
And look, don't just take my word for it. The big guns, like the National Strength and Conditioning Association, they put it perfectly. They call it a powerful intervention to fight not just the loss itself, but all the debilitating things that come with it.
And we're not just talking about bigger biceps here. This is a full body system upgrade. I mean, we're talking denser, stronger bones, better metabolic health, the ability to just move through life with more ease, and, so importantly, a much lower risk of life-altering falls. It's a total overhaul.
Okay, but it gets even better. Honestly, this next part is maybe the most mind-blowing piece of this whole puzzle. We're moving beyond the physical and into the most important organ we have, our brain.
You know, for years and years, we've all heard that cardio, running, biking, is the absolute king for brain health. And hey, it's fantastic. But what happens when you put it head-to-head with strength training, specifically when you're looking at blood flow to the brain? Well, a really important study in the Journal of Applied Physiology found something that kind of turns that old idea on its head. The researchers found that the resistance-trained folks had greater cerebrovascular conductance. That's just a fancy way of saying blood was moving through their brains more easily.
Let's just translate that into plain English, because this is huge. The people who were lifting weights had better blood flow in their brains while they were just sitting around. Think about that. That means a better fed, healthier, and much more resilient brain as you get older.
Okay, I can practically hear you thinking, this sounds amazing, but is it safe for me? And where on earth do I even start? Don't worry, that is exactly what this next part is for. We're going to lay out a simple blueprint for you.
So let's just get the biggest concern out of the way right now, safety, the fear factor. The evidence on this is overwhelming. When you have a smart program and you focus on good, clean technique, this is incredibly safe for healthy older adults. And the best part, it can be tweaked and adapted for almost anyone. So what does a good program actually look like? Well, the NSCA gives us a great blueprint. You're aiming for about 2 to 3 workouts a week. For each major muscle group, think 2 or 3 solid sets. The weight should be challenging, like those last couple of reps should be tough. And focus on the big exercises, things like squats, presses, and rows, that work multiple muscles at once. That's where you get the most bang for your buck.
And it's not always about lifting the heaviest thing you possibly can. We also need to train for power, which is all about being fast and explosive. Think about catching yourself if you trip, or hoisting a suitcase into the overhead bin. For this, you use a lighter weight, but you focus on moving it with speed and intention. All right, we've gone over frequency, intensity, all that, but if you forget everything else, please remember this. The absolute, non-negotiable, most important part of all of this is progression. You start where you are, you master the movement, and only then do you slowly, gradually make it a little harder.
And that really brings us to the final thought here, which is maybe the most empowering one. This isn't about luck. It's not about genetics. Building a stronger future is truly in your hands.
But after everything we've just talked about, all these incredible benefits, look at this number. It's kind of shocking. Barely 8.7% of people over 75 are doing this stuff regularly. Now, you can look at that as a tragedy, but I see it as a massive,
Massive opportunity.
So let's wrap this up. If you walk away with just 3 things from our time together, please let it be these. Number 1, focus on strength. That's what disappears the fastest. Number 2, lifting weights is fantastic for your brain. That's a game changer. And number 3, there is a simple, safe starting point, a blueprint for absolutely everyone.
So I'll just leave you with this final thought. Your future self is literally being built by the choices you make today, right now. The only question is, what are you going to choose to build?